Well, howdy, everyone. We got some breaking news for you. Offensive lineman Jonte Newman commits to Texas from evil Texas A&M. But we welcome you all the same, brother. Before we talk about that, guys, head over to Inside Texas. 50% off the transfer portal. Ultimate fan bundle right now. Would love to see you over there. All right, Joe, what's the latest? What's going on here?
Yeah, Jonte Newman from Texas A&M, which you don't see that happen very often.
Yeah.
We've seen the Anthony Hill, we've seen the Ty Anthony Smith. They never made it onto Texas A&M's
Yeah.
campus as Aggies. Jonte Newman did from Cypress Bridgeland, Connor Weigman's high school. I
Okay.
think that was where he and there was one other player in his class, I think another tackle who went to Oklahoma. So it was a really strong high school class there at Bridgeland. Texas was after them both in recruiting, hosted both of them, but they went their separate ways. Newman goes to A&M. He during his recruitment, he was a top 400-ish prospect. Ended up being the number 17 offensive tackle in the portal, according to On3. And this is definitely a tackle. Maybe he swings inside. I don't know. He played a little bit for A&M this year and only against Samford, so their SoCon game. And A&M had like a group of 8 that they started. Like they had a top group that they felt really good about. He
Yeah.
didn't quite crack that in his freshman year, but he did play right tackle in that Samford game. And then this is just another move that, looking at it on the surface, Nick Brooks goes, Jonte Newman comes right in. And you have 4 years of eligibility left with him, whereas with Nick Brooks, he only had 3. You kind of write that you kind of make up for what you lose in Brooks, and pretty talented player, pretty similar player. I don't think he's as large bulk wise as Brooks was, but still 6'6", 315. I'll double check what Texas A&M listed him as. Texas A&M listed him as 6'4", 331. So I'm not sure where
Yeah,
Hayes got his.
PFF has the same 6'4", 331, and old Hayes got 6'6", 315. Probably because he asked the player what his height was, and so
Yeah,
they'll add a couple inches whenever that happens.
maybe in cleats.
Yeah,
But that just for me, I see it. Nick Brooks goes out the door. Well, here comes Jonte Newman in the door, a player who is probably being recruited as a tackle, but has, like Brooks did, if you ever really needed it, chance to go play guard.
yeah, that's my immediate thought here too. Is that it's going to give you some flexibility. Our Evan Beath has done a good job explaining that there's really no depth to the O line right now with all the transfers out. So to bring someone with 4 years of theoretical runway left in them, I immediately turned on some huddle from him. He moves well. He's got the big body and all of that kind of stuff. So tackle traits, but we're not married to you have to be a tackle. If you're 6'6", you're probably stuck as a tackle. But if you're really 6'4", you actually do have some guard versatility. So it's just a way to kind of, I would assume, pad the line and then get some guys that you can develop opposed to just our portal targets that we're trying to fill right now.
And if you think about it, you use the portal for luxuries, and then you can kind of backfill some recruiting classes the same way. If you look at the Texas 2025 class, the offensive lineman takes were, and I have to scroll down pretty far away, which says a lot. They were Nick Brooks out the door and Jackson Christian and the Coleman brothers. So again, like you're seeing one of those players go out the door. Now you're seeing somebody come in and replace them in a similar role, and you add to that room a number that you definitely need.
No, he's not too tall to play tackle. He could, if he's 6'6", he can be too tall to play guard. If I misspoke, then I apologize. But yeah, normally 6'6" is a little too tall for guards. Need a mix of 1-year players and players with multiple years of eligibility. Correct. We want to solve our portal problems in the transfer portal this year and get the starting line, but we don't want to play this game every single year, right?
Right. I think what I wrote yesterday when Brooks entered is that Texas entered this season with 15, I think, and you add in Jonte Newman, now they're at 12. And a lot of that has to do, I think, with this, everybody learning along the way that you can't really pay a bunch of guys to sit on the bench. And that's really tough at offensive line because there are only 5. And if you got 15 in a group, okay, you're not going to get all those players in. But at the same time, like you still need numbers. And this spreads the numbers out. I think you'll have 1 senior, maybe 2 or actually 4 juniors, like 3 sophomores, 3 redshirt freshmen, 3 true freshmen. Like you've got the right mix. And as you see here on the his high school tape,
This is junior tape, by the way.
right? And so he's playing left tackle. I don't think that's not Weigman, but that is a very good Bridgeland team. You know, that's a relatively new development. If you go in between 290 and I-10 on the Grand Parkway, you'll see it there, just kind of off to the what side is that? East side. All new development. I kind of technically Katy, kind of technically Cypress, a little bit of everything. And they've built up their football program, and he was a result of it too. So just a really good roster take, you know, and I think there's definitely a lot of upside. You're adding a player that, you know, you have familiarity with because you did recruit him. I'm 99% sure they hosted him on visits and stuff like that. But just a player that helps you get right roster wise as you try to go forward and, you know, make up for the loss of not getting Joe Brunner to Indiana. I'm getting that right because I goofed up the thread, to make up for those Michigan guys not leaving Michigan. Those were more instant impact guys, though. This helps to shore up depth. You have Dylan Sikorsky. You have him. Now it's time to aim high. Now it's time to really aim high. Try to get those guys who are going to be instant impact. Get, you know, the Jordan Seatons of the world. And we know Texas is a player for him as far as, you know, now that he's entering the portal or plans to enter the portal. You have to have a process. This is the next step in the process, but people don't want to just stay on first base. They want to start rounding second and rounding third to get home.
Yeah, and people, you know, looks like a Nick Brooks replacement. Not bad news, but not what we need right now. I mean, it is what we do need this too. I get what you're saying. You want starters. Everyone knows that. But you also do need depth. We don't have depth either. And so I have no problem taking this with a longer time horizon player that can grow. And then, of course, finishing off with if it's Seaton or guards or whatever. And a reminder that guys can enter the portal up until Friday officially, but guys will still be in the portal. I've heard fans think that it has to be completely done and wrapped by Friday or else we're not getting starters, and that's not the case either. But you see, he has good feet, man. He moves out in space well.
There is a deadline on entering the portal.
Right.
There is no deadline on decisions.
Yep.
You know, if you really think about it, there's no deadline on decisions until week 1. Maybe even after that.
The week NCAA, there's never a deadline.
Because there are literally thousands of players in the portal. Teams are going to have time to, you know, go through different, different evaluations, different things like that to see, okay, you know, this is who I want. This guy will work. This guy won't. It may be harder to find a starter that way. I think that's valid, but you're still going to be able to find players who can help your roster.
Yep. Sikorsky, Newman are players that can help the program in 2027. Yep. I agree 1,000%. Cross the A&M line. I was shocked to see such a thing, but welcome to the squad, Jonte, and we will stay locked in with you guys as we get more portal news and get the starters you so desperately crave, as I do myself. Head over to Inside Texas, guys. 50% off the transfer portal Ultimate Fan Bundle right this very moment. We would absolutely love to see you over there. And welcome to the Longhorns, Jonte Newman. Later, y'all.